Hi everyone, welcome to Lisa's Pantry. This channel is going to be about food preservation, learning to can, learning to dehydrate, learning to preserve food in many different ways during all these trying times that we're going through. Also, I'm going to be showing you step by step how to can, how to water bath can, how to pressure can, how to do everything. Thank you for being here. Hopefully you enjoy my channel. If you do so, please like and subscribe, and let's get started.
So this is the canning set that you get, 6-piece canning set that you can get from Amazon. You could get it at Walmart. I got mine from Amazon. So you can use this. It will help you. Basic, and I'll put a link down below. The next thing is the funnel. The funnel is a very important tool. It helps you put your vegetables or whatever you're doing in the jar to keep you from spilling everything everywhere. Helps you put the water in and not spill it on yourself. Also, this is the debubbler. The debubbler is a very handy tool. The debubbler helps you get rid of the bubbles that come in the jars when you have water and vegetables in the jar. It also, on the other end, has the measuring tool to help you make sure you get 1-inch headspace. You can also use the bottom ring on the rim. That is a 1-inch headspace. You could use that as your guide or use the debubbler. Debubbler is a very useful tool. Next is going to be the magnet wand. The magnet wand is what you use to lift your rings and your lids out of the water to put on your jars. The next thing is the tongs. The tongs are useful to help you get your racks out of your hot canner. The next thing is the jar tightener, and it is the tool that you use to tighten your jars up and your rings on your jars to make sure that you don't have any siphoning in your canner. The last thing is a very important tool. Most people need it. It is the jar lifter. It helps you lift your jars to take them to the canner, to put them in the hot water or the cold water, whichever you're using, into the canner, and it also helps you take it out of the canner when it's really hot. So that is the kit. Now I'm going to talk to you about the jars. So you need to have sterile jars. You need to have sterile rings and lids. At this point, you do not have to boil the rings and the lids, and the reason you don't have to do the lids is because USDA says it's no longer necessary. The next thing I'm going to talk to you about is the actual canner itself. I have a Presto canner. This is the rack that goes in the bottom to put your jars on. The next thing that you're going to see is that there is a rubber ring inside your canner. You have to oil that sometimes to keep it from going bad. There's also the hole for the steam and the hole for the pressure gauge. Make sure that they're clear. This is the pressure gauge that tells you the pressure. This is the steam guide. This is where the steam comes out whenever your canner is getting ready for you to time it to get up to pressure. The pressure gauge tells you when it's up to pressure, so you know when to start timing it for the amount of time that you need to pressure can your food. The reason I'm using the pressure canner is because I'm canning vegetables. Also in the pressure canner there's a line that tells you where to fill it. Most of them have it. Now you're seeing me put the water in, and I'm filling it up to the line where we're supposed to put it, and all canners, pressure canners, have that. So now here we go. We're starting the corn. So I'm putting the corn in the jars, and then I'm going to add hot water in it, and then I'm going to put some salt in it. So after I put salt in it, then I'm going to make sure that it is at the right 1/2 inch headspace. So here we go with the salt. And we're going to put the salt in there. And we're going to debubble. We'll make sure it's at the right 1/2 inch headspace. And then we're going to put the ring and the lids on. Oh, before we do that, we're going to run some vinegar around the lids to make sure there's no debris, make sure there's no nicks, and then we're going to tighten the lid up. So I went ahead and did all the corn. It saves you from having to watch me do all that. Now we're doing green beans. Oh, also, this is a low acid food, so therefore we're going to pressure can it. So now we're going to put in the green beans. We're going to start filling our jar up, and it's going to go really fast. So you're going to watch me do it. But we're going to put some salt and water in these two, and we're going to debubble them. So here comes the salt. I'm going to put some water. And then we're going to debubble it, make sure there's no bubbles in the jar. And then we're going to, I put too much water. As you can see, I had to dump water out because I didn't put enough green beans in. So now I'm going to put more green beans in and fill it back up again. You want to make sure that you put enough in the jar. And here in a second, I'm going to speed it up so that you don't have to watch me fill all these jars. You can listen to my cool music. Makes you want to dance. Put some salt in and then some water. And then fill up the rest of the jars. Put the rings and lids on. But you gotta make sure you wipe the rings down. Make sure you put, make sure you use your vinegar and wipe your rings down because that's important because you don't want to have any debris on your jars because it'll make the seal not set. And then you just keep it going. And then we move them over and put them in the canner. So now we're putting the corn in the bottom here. Getting our first layer in. Here we go. Woohoo! Now we're going to get our other rack and put that in, and then we're going to put the green beans on the top. We've got a full canner, which you want to have a full canner when you're canning. You either that makes it better when you're canning to have a full canner. You don't want to do a half of a canner. It's kind of a waste of time. So now we have steam. Woohoo! Yeah. So now we're going to put we're going to time it for 10 minutes. Then we're going to put our little thing on top of it. And then we're going to let it do. Now we're at the end and we're taking the canner out. So, okay, so it's been in there for 30 minutes. We let it set for 5. Now we took the lid off. As you saw, we pulled it away from us. And we're pulling the jars out. But the one thing that I need to make sure I tell you is because I used a pressure canner, which they say when you do low acid foods, you need to use a pressure canner because there's not enough acid. And if you use a water bath canner for low acid foods, you take a chance on bacteria. So if it's a low acid food like vegetables and stuff like that, you need to use a pressure canner. So high acid foods is tomatoes, fruits, that kind of stuff. Those all need to be water bathed, and because of low acid. And then you can find all this information in the canning books. I'll put a link below. Have a good day. Thank you much.
Okay, thank you so much for joining me here. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe, hit the bell so you can get notifications. And God bless and have a great day. See you soon.